1, 2, 1, 2, 1, 2, 3, 4. Will the school up and we're back for more. More guests and topics to explore. School upstairs. Welcome back to the S.U.S. podcast.
We just want to know like your humble
Yeah.
beginnings because like after we graduated, because we were batchmates, me and Enzo. After we graduated
Mhm.
from CSA, like we kind of lost touch, and I would only see him from time to time, and I would have to find out everything that's been going on with his life, like at that moment lang. So I'd literally just be getting fragments. So like he said, he's been writing for Young Star for a while now. So I guess we just want to know like what made you wanna apply for like writing those articles, or like what made you realize that you wanted to do this or start doing this?
Okay. All right. Well, okay. Well, the funniest thing there is, well, one, I haven't contributed in a while. Like, I've been really busy, and like the beauty of that is like it's like a big group, a big family of contributors where
Yeah.
like you get called up whenever. And the even funnier thing is that I did not start out as a writer.
Oh,
I applied as a photographer and a videographer
Mhm.
actually. Like when I auditioned, and I do miss everyone there. Like especially the guy who's always watching over me. Si Jampas, shouts to Jam Pascual. I applied as a photographer, videographer. Like that was my only portfolio. And then at the very end of my interview, I just said, "Oh, and I guess if you need a writer, like I think I can write."
yeah.
Um, yeah. I mean, I've been writing like since like we were like 12 or something. Like just like my own. Like it starts with poetry. It starts with like school essay, mga ganon. I just found
Mhm.
myself enjoying that. But it started when I uh, had to shoot for a gig for an EP launch. The
Oh,
band was called Sound Architects. They're
yeah.
this prog rock band, really cool guys. You should check out their stuff. And I volunteered. I was like, hey, instead of shooting, like, I what if you like you could let me interview these guys, like maybe like
Mhm.
cover the event itself. And
Yeah.
that was my first article. That was my first article. Like
Ooh.
for Youngstar at least, and that really got my foot in the door because like I've been like following a lot of like I've been reading like a lot of Pitchfork, listening to my favorite music reviews online, reading about them, and I was like, okay, I think I can do this. So yeah, I listened to the EP. I really like took notes, like what I liked, what I didn't like, what I wanted to ask them. I watched the show, like I really got to enjoy the live versions, and then I got to talk to them afterwards. And it's funny,
Nice.
no, like it's funny na when you're hearing someone or watching someone's art, you like have this idea of what they are. You have like this vibe of what you think they are, and then you meet them, and then you're
Yeah.
either like totally surprised or you're also totally confirmed. Now, okay, you're exactly how
Yeah.
I
Yeah.
thought you were
Mhm.
gonna be, or also, damn, I didn't realize you were gonna be this vibe, diba? And it's
Yeah.
just really cool. Like I got time to study and appreciate the art, and then I just got to
Mhm.
meet the artist and like have a new appreciation for the art
So you
afterwards.
have a food blog, right?
Yeah,
So
yeah.
what made you choose to talk about food of all the topics out there?
Okay, okay. Um, Actually, if we talk about what my first loves really is, like I
Mhm.
know I got to start talking about like writing.
Yeah.
What got me into writing in the first place was just enjoying food. Um, I guess as we can go as far back as like okay, just like I started cooking. I think how most Filipino kids start cooking, which was learning to make my own pancit canton and hot
Same.
dog
True though.
and the tender
It's
juicy
a staple food.
and the staple dude and
Yeah.
then
Boil
the
the
fried
water.
egg. And that was so scary at the time because like
Yeah.
the oil, diba? The oil's gonna make pitik pitik and stick. Um so yeah, it really started with that. Like I just enjoyed cooking at home, helping my
Yeah.
lola, helping my mom and dad. Um and then I remember in grade six when we were how old were we when we were grade six? I was like we were like
12-ish,
what, like
11, 12.
11,
Yeah.
10, 12? Yeah. I remember going to Singapore,
Mm-hmm.
and I just said, okay, I'm going to write down the five foods that I enjoyed the most. Like that's it lang. I'll just make a simple article. I don't know who to give it to, or like I wasn't even thinking of how to get it published. Like I just wanted to do it
Yeah.
because this isn't gonna age well, but like my idol at the time was like Ray William Johnson, and I was just like, I would like to, I would like to share my opinion like him, like talk about stuff like him. So yeah, so I wrote it down. I was like, okay, I don't even remember what I ate that much. Like I know I had like a noodle dish, I had like a curry dish, like a katsu curry, not even like Singaporean curry,
Oh,
like
it was
just
like
Yeah.
it
katsu
was
curry.
other Japanese food in
Yeah.
Singapore.
Oh,
Oh, see, I wasn't thinking about it
yeah.
too much. I had like an ice cream
With ice
sandwich,
cream
and
sandwich
yun,
in
like that's
Singapore.
yeah, in
Oh my
Singapore.
gosh.
Oh, and I really enjoyed that. Like I just gave it to my English teacher, I gave it to my mom, I gave it to my tita. As my
Galing.
tita was, I was just like, hey, can you check this out? And syempre, as a
Yeah.
kid, like no one's gonna give you the breaks that much. Naman. They're like, yeah, this is cute, this is cute. And ayun, I guess that's where it all started, man. I really enjoyed cooking all throughout, like, like high school. I get home, I'll make my own merienda.
Mm-hmm.
College, when I was living in an apartment with my barkada, with my one of my best friends, Blue. Um, we were staying in my tito's apartment, and they had a kitchen there, and it I realized that, like, well, aside from the fact that for me I found cooking to be like a therapeutic thing, I also found that it was just like overall cheaper for the wallet to
That's
just
so true.
Cook your own stuff.
do
Yeah.
groceries once a week and then just like cook stuff regularly. Like sure, of course, like the convenience is there, and like not everyone has them in a kitchen for their own, but I got to take advantage of that and really get
Mm-hmm.
used to cooking.
Mm-hmm.
And so it just made sense after graduating na parang, like I've had fun making videos, I've had fun writing, I've had fun cooking. I'm unemployed at the time and feeling very in need of something to do. So that's where
Yeah.
all of the sauce
This is where
started.
it's gonna get pretty unpredictable. Like let's get crazy in here.
Everyone, brace
Everyone brace
Brace
yourselves.
yourselves. Like
yourselves.
whatever we say here is
Brace for
purely
in.
conversational.
Yeah.
We're not trying to like impose our ideas on
Mm-hmm.
anybody. Like this is just our thoughts. So
Yeah.
we do know that like the internet is such a hard like place to please, especially now because people are so critical of like everything, even if it's not like I understand when it gets to the point where things become offensive or rude. Like I'm 100% no tolerance for that crap, but like
Of course, of
there are a
course.
lot of things that like even you yourself, like that's the way you would express things, and it's not necessarily
Yeah,
bad, but then you're not
yeah,
sure how it comes across to other people, and therefore you end up, let's say, just cutting it. Like let's say you're writing an article, but
yeah,
you write about something that you don't think everyone will agree with, even if like that's your strong opinion.
yeah,
And so for the good of
yeah.
like everyone, you decide to cut it out. That totally affects the quality of your content because it's no longer
Fair.
you
True.
talking, right?
It's not your 100% honesty. True.
Exactly.
Mm-hmm.
So how does it feel? Like because you write articles and blogs and like review things for like a living or for your hobby, and this is why we
Yeah.
thought you'd be such a perfect guest to talk to
Aw, thank
this
you.
about. So how does it feel to like put your voice and your opinion out there for others to see? Like, especially since the online community today can be pretty critical in terms of like what
Yeah.
content is put out there. It's so easy to
Yeah.
just say I don't like this because he said one
Yeah. Everyone
thing.
has a say on
Yeah,
things.
Right,
exactly.
right, right.
So
They're
how does it
very.
Okay.
feel for you to just
Right.
put yourself out there? It's literally what you're doing with your articles. You're
Mm-hmm.
sharing yourself with everyone through your
Exactly.
reviews.
Okay. Well, I guess you know that like I don't know if I don't know if I'm remembering correctly, but there's like this gif or this video or this meme of it's like the guy that like presses enter and then runs away and hides from the computer. I feel like that's me a lot of times. Like when I'm done with the article because I like okay, for example, like I'm done with the article, I'll send it to my editor and then I'm like, okay pa, I trust my like they'll tell me if something's like off or they'll tell me if something's
Yeah.
like totally wrong or false. But then when they come back, like, okay, I just checked some grammatical stuff here and there, but like this pretty much okay. And then it's time to release, and I see it online, and I just like, I'm guilty of this, but like I check the comment section a lot just because
Yeah.
like I want
Mm-hmm.
to see if or the shares. I see the shares if like someone like was like this is not it or something like because I want to know not because not naman because okay I am terrified of naman of like what people have to say about my
Yeah.
opinions, but like I think that's the fun of it. Like you put like it's like bro, it's like the scientific method. It's like you're like I have this theory, but I can't be the only one to test it. So I need to like let other people test it and
Yeah.
experiment
Mm-hmm.
with it and come back. And if they tell me, yeah, that's pretty sound, then you find out that your opinion is pretty like even if people don't agree with it, they're like, I can't say no to it either. That
Yeah.
mga
Yeah.
ganon. Like, and I feel like that's the fun of it nga, na you put your word out there and it gets tested back and forth with other people. Some people will say, yeah, agree. Some people say, no, not really. And that's the beauty of discourse. And I think we need more of that. I think particularly in the context of like, Filipino media, I
Yeah.
feel like we have so much positive word going on, which is all good because, empower each other, good feedback and
Of course.
all. But I also feel like we're not used to seeing people say hindi masarap or
Oh, that's so true.
'di ba? 'Di
Yeah.
ba?
That's so true.
You don't hear enough hindi siya masarap or
Yeah.
like okay, like other end naman, you hear a lot of pangit yung kanta niya. But do you hear enough it's not do you hear enough of hindi siya maganda kasi blank.
Yeah. Like it's just a
Yeah.
straight up. That's it, and then you have to accept it, now, right?
Oo.
Yeah. Yeah. I get that. There's a
Yeah.
lot of
That.
reviews that I like that now,
Diba?
actually.
Diba? Like, okay, have your hot take, but like, I want to know where your hot take is coming from,
Yeah.
why
Mm-hmm.
your hot take is like that. Like temper it out. Tell us
Yeah. You
why.
have to back it up.
Yeah.
Oo.
Given what you said, do you
Yeah.
feel like it's important to people, especially the younger generations, to voice out their personal opinions on like certain topics? And
Yeah.
because like it's a scare, like the internet's such a scary
It
place.
is.
It's like,
It is a scary
yeah,
place.
it's more scary than the real world.
A lot of ways, because
Yeah.
especially for kids, like that's like most of their world these days.
Yeah. And it's so easy to hide
Yeah.
lang behind the screen.
Yeah.
Yeah, exactly. And like
Yeah.
cyberbullying, such a
It's so
big
easy to do
issue.
that. Yeah,
Yeah.
diba?
Yeah.
You don't know if the person insulting you is like a kid or an adult.
Yeah.
You
Or a
don't know if
bot
they're like
even.
Mm-hmm.
Like that's just
or a
advanced. You
bot.
don't.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah. Well, I feel like more than anything, like that platform for all of its double-edgedness is like, yun nga, it's with great power comes great responsibility kind of thing. It's like, um, it, it is scary putting your opinion out there a lot of times because like it's
It's
like
so easy to
the
get canceled.
Yeah.
no, that's true. Well, I feel like nga it's a good thing and a bad thing din kasi look at the other end of the spectrum. Okay, look at the other end of the spectrum where only hosts on TV and people with production budgets and people from big media, sila lang yung pwedeng maglabas ng opinion nila. Sila lang yung pwedeng magsabi kung what's the news, what's happening, what's good, what's bad. You
Mm-hmm.
have these people like dictating the whole media process, and now you have the total other end of the spectrum now where you have like like people like you and me who could just put up like let's say right now I'm on Twitter a lot these days, like just put up memes and then gain a following and then just start switching it up and sharing your opinion about things like
Yeah.
the the ease to build a platform and also the publicness of it all. That's the beauty of it. Like 10 years ago, if you wanted to be like an internet star, diba? Like who were you looking up to at the time? Ryan Higa, Smosh,
Oh, for sure.
Like the British
diba?
people.
The British
Jack's
people,
Gap,
diba?
British
sure.
Like
people.
like my
Like,
like my sister
yeah.
loved Zoella so much at the
Zoella.
time. Diba? Like those guys started a movement that allowed people to like just it went from having to have a camera to just like putting up your phone and
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
taking your own video. And now it's like vlogging went from being a content creator's second channel to being the main channel. Like people want to
Yeah, I
watch it.
remember
Diba?
content
People
creators having. Yeah.
Diba? They had to flip Mino. They just be filming behind the scenes. Diba? And you go even further and you have like streamers now. Streaming, I just think that streaming is like the logical next step from vlogging. But okay, I digress. What I'm getting at is there is a beauty to the back and forth that is out there. And I know that people are afraid nga of like, what if I say the wrong thing? Okay.
Yeah.
There is a difference between saying a disagreeable thing and saying a wrong thing. Like if you're afraid that you're gonna be canceled because you'll accidentally say like an offensive joke, you'll say something discriminatory, or you'll say something that's like politically incorrect, that's a problem because
Yeah.
you know
Yeah.
pala that your content is possibly problematic. Then read up on it, then like
Yeah.
change, like educate yourself.
Yeah.
That is like there's no fixing that except just that's a you problem.
Yeah.
But if you're talking about saying a disagreeable thing, I say go for it because we need more of that. We can't have a herd mindsets either. Whether it's
That's true.
political or arts or food or like media, diba? You gotta be able to say it because if not, then like it trickles down. Then, but also just be kind, man. And I've been
That's
talking about
so
this
true.
kanina pa, diba? Just
Be
be kind.
kind.
Don't say some wrong shit. Like there's the big difference between saying um um like TikTok comment sections. It's like there's a
Oh,
difference
that's so
between
Oh
true.
my gosh.
That's so
saying
That's
true.
so
I
true.
don't even know. I
Oh,
don't even know how like they. But I see that like these kids are so mean.
Yeah, it's the
exactly.
kids pa. Like the teenagers
Oh,
Oh
is
my
they're
gosh.
commenting on like
I can't
adult
even read
videos.
it properly. I don't get like it's the parang how do you put it? It's like the fairy emojis, like no with the sparkle emoji. I don't get that. Or it's the blank for me. Like
Kid
Oh
friendly
yeah.
savagery.
I
Yeah, because
know.
kids are so blunt about things.
Yeah, which I feel like is
And
Like,
that's
sort of an
good.
energy we kind of need also in this time that we're living in now. Like kids have that like mentality not to stop themselves from saying what they think is correct. Like yes, it needs filtering, of
mm-hmm.
course, because like they might know that some things might be offensive or wrong or rude, but like
Yeah.
if it's just in the context of saying what you think is like what you know to be true, then yeah, I agree. They should go
I
for it.
think naman like anyone naman that puts their content out there has an agenda of some sort. It's not that agenda is a bad word or anything. Like,
Yeah,
whether your agenda is to make people enjoy or to make people think or to convince people of something otherwise. Um, but that's fine. Know nga why you're doing what you're doing para, as you write it, as you say it, as you perform it, you're informed by that intent and you create a stronger product for it.
for
And
sure.
for me, that's really like what gets me going a lot. Like because that's really one of my biggest advocacies in this whole media landscape. Like I just want people to be more critical, and by being more critical, being more appreciative of the things that they witness.
Of course.
A space that I entered recently, well, more actively, is like basketball discourse. I've been a fan of the Milwaukee Bucks since 2016, and we won. By the way, we won
Yes.
last
Yeah.
Wednesday.
That
It's
must
been
have
a
been
long time
crazy for you.
coming. I that felt really good. Here, I'll show you guys my Giannis Funko Pop.
Nice.
um, yeah, and it feels nice, right? But
Yeah.
like, ayun, like let's take the Milwaukee Bucks. Like, I have seen so much slander online going like these, like Giannis can't carry a team. I've seen a lot of people saying stuff like, Chris Middleton isn't a good defender, like takes like that, or like you don't need to know the names or the play styles or whatever. But for me, it's like, how do I, in my own way, get to shape the discussion so that I can share with people that like, no, like this is an amazing team. Like,
Yeah.
do you watch the games? Like there are guys that only follow the big teams, for example, because Milwaukee is considered like a small market team.
Mhm.
And for me, it's like, what role can I take on so that I can change someone's mind today about just how what's good about this team, what's bad about this team. And I feel like that's just something fun to have because like you'd think that like people who enjoy sports are like, like Chad energy and like basic energy and stuff, but like
yeah.
there is so much nerd stuff going on, so much geek stuff going on. Like, come on, like, you think sports fan aren't nerds? Who
That's true.
memorizes the stats of players? Like, it's the same thing as Dungeons
Exactly.
and Dragons. Like, oh, my intelligence is 19, my charisma is 14. Oh yeah, Giannis averaged 30.5 points and 12.4 rebounds. Okay, I don't know the exact numbers,
Yeah,
but
yeah.
you
No.
get the point.
Yeah.
Yeah, that's true.
Diba?
Mm-hmm.
And there are the people naman who are all about the stats and don't appreciate naman watching the game itself. Like, ayun, it's nice knowing na I have a chance to like talk to people and exchange opinions and argue with them and disagree with them. And both of us
Mm-hmm.
come out with a better informed mindset afterwards. I love that. Like, I never go into an argument thinking, okay, I'm not changing my mind. I always go into an argument with, I'll say what I think, and if I don't have anything to say and I like what you're saying, edi
Yeah,
that your opinion is my new opinion because
that's
I like it.
true.
Yeah.
You brought me
Yeah.
over. I take it. So, ayun. Like, even with my friends who were Phoenix fans, and like we were all teasing each other. If they had something like that I wasn't agreeing with, pero maganda yung sabi nila, I'll be like,
Mm-hmm.
fair point. Go. I agree with you now.
Yeah. And I think people nowadays, they tend to forget to keep an open mind when talking to other people.
Oo. Diba? You just want to be right
Yeah.
all the
Yeah.
time.
Yeah,
But you can't
exactly.
be right all the time.
Exactly.
Yeah, otherwise opinions wouldn't exist. Everything would just be fact to
Yeah.
everyone, but they'd all be inconsistent.
Exactly.
So what does that say
Yeah.
about
And
communication?
what
Right, Bea?
yeah, and what are you gonna learn if you're just
Exactly.
gonna, stick to your opinion?
Right? Like, whatever,
Yeah.
man. Like, if someone proves you wrong, it's not embarrassing. Well,
Mm-hmm.
unless, like you said, really embarrassing stuff, then that's on
Oh,
you.
that's true. That's the
Diba?
that's
Unless you,
the
like,
like
Yeah.
exception.
made, like, a really, like, whack statement, then that's
Mm-hmm.
on you. But, like, we're all just trying to figure out naman, like, if you want to be right all the time, Eddie, listen to who proves you wrong and then get that opinion. Eddie, you're also right. And then you lose again, and then you take that opinion. Then you're right again. Like, I don't get why people are so defensive with their convictions all the time to the point that you can't question it.
Oh
Like, that's
yeah.
where it's wrong.
My gosh, this has been such a smooth like transition of
Yeah.
everything. Like I was expecting this conversation to literally be all over the place because this is something that like us as podcasters are trying out also, like to make it more conversational and less just like back and
Right.
forth, diba? So this was a very
Right.
refreshing like perspective for us to see, which I think kind of ties in with the just be open
With
to
the
like
topic.
more
Yeah.
opinions. But I think there's one more question that we have. It's super super duper
Yeah.
important. Bea, do you want to ask him the question? This is something that we
So
wanted to know from everyone
yeah.
for like a
So
long
it's
time.
been a talked about topic in the screw up sessions. So
Okay.
we're just very curious what are your thoughts on High School Musical 2? Do you love it? Do you hate it? Do you love to hate it? Do you hate to love it?
Not dissing any Disney fans out there.
Yeah.
This is purely opinion. Like
Yeah.
we love the
Mm-hmm.
movies. It's just that from if you guys watched like the earlier episode where we did the debate on High School Musical, like it
Yeah.
wasn't in the tally. It was 1 against 3. Like we said, 2 is good. No hate on that. But like out of the 3, it's the least good. So we want to know what someone of
Yeah.
your skill set and opinion
Like an
mindset base
outside opinion.
has to say about it. We're so curious.
Okay, I'm just going through stills. I'm just trying to remember the events of High School Musical too. Okay, here we go. I personally am always a second movie lover. Let's start with that.
See,
Like,
Ton?
I'm a second movie lover. Okay.
This is not to offend
Um,
anybody.
I haven't finished my statement. I'm a second movie lover, right? Empire Strikes Back is my favorite Star Wars movie, for
True,
example.
true.
Mm-hmm.
Right? I found that the Book of Earth is my favorite. Like, was the most interesting Avatar season, for
Oh, that's
example.
so true overall. Yeah,
Like, just for growth. Like, I just because that was what book two naman talaga was supposed to be
yeah.
about. So for me, when it comes to a second movie, my what I look for all the time is how do you explore the first movie and give the characters new challenges that will define them better.
That's so
So
true.
that's what I like in a second movie, or like a second anything, a second album or
Yeah.
whatnot. Now, when you get to High School Musical 2, I feel like I feel like it was such a bold move to take high school away from High School Musical. Like that's where I come from about HSM2.
Mhm.
I felt of course I loved it watching it as a kid,
Oh,
huh?
for
But
sure,
like
man. I was like, this is the best
this is
movie
me.
ever.
Like
Yeah.
I just love seeing the songs. But now, now having watched it multiple times and
Yeah.
doing the things I do now, I felt like it felt like a spin-off movie just because like you totally shifted the setting,
Mhm.
and I just feel like all of the themes of the first one. Okay, yeah, why are we talking so deeply about High School Musical?
This is
But I just
what gets you.
Yeah.
This is why it's such a good topic to talk
Mhm.
about, because there's really a lot of like back and forth.
but ako, um I just feel like they didn't touch base enough on what was so cool about the first movie,
Yeah.
which was what okay, I think Sharpay is the most consistent character because like she has such a clearly defined motivation, and in every movie you see that happen, and you see her mellow out. She kind of goes from like villain nga to an
Not
an
anti-hero-ish.
anti-hero,
Yeah.
Yeah.
diba? Like you were rooting, if you think about it, diba, in High School Musical 3 you're rooting
Yeah,
for
you're
her
rooting for
to
her to beat
take
the
the
other
role
girl.
from
Yeah.
the
Tiara
younger girl,
Gold.
Mhm.
diba?
Yeah, yeah.
Mhm.
Tiara Gold, there we go. But I just feel like in High School Musical too, I just feel like everyone became like a caricature of themselves. Like I feel like Sharpay was so over the top. I feel like um I I didn't I didn't enjoy the in-betweenness of Troy as much in this one either. Like I feel like in this one he wasn't, well, I think that's the point naman, but like I felt like Troy was weaker in High School Musical 2 just because like he yung pagka-push over niya didn't feel like, how do you put it? It didn't feel like he was making his own uh okay, no. The Bet on It was about him not making his own
That's
decisions,
on
right?
it.
But what I'm getting at is like I did not I didn't like that parang everything was moving on whether or not he made a decision. Like
Yeah.
Mhm.
sure, Gabriella and the guys were like, you're like leaving us, you're ditching us. The show will still go on without you. But also like on the other end of the spectrum, like Sharpay also did not need Troy for her show either. Like
Yeah.
you get it. So it's like I didn't like that whether or not you had Troy on either side, you didn't really feel the consequences of him not being there.
Yeah.
And that's where I think High School Musical 2 has its biggest weakness. You didn't set the consequences enough. Like you just were like, okay, now Troy is sad. Now Gabriella is sad. But ayon, I just felt like for a kid, like even if it is a kids movie, like you can have really good conflicts in kids movies. Cusco. I love the
Oh, I
Cusco
Oh,
movie.
love
Just
Emperor's New
Cusco.
Groove was
diba?
Yeah.
Emperor's New
fantastic.
Groove. Because it's a kids movie, sure, but like you see the main character make a bad choice and suffer the consequences
Yeah, like
and
all the
become a
time.
better person at the
Yeah.
end. I did not get that with Troy in High School Musical 2. We got that in High School Musical 3.
Yeah.
I
Mhm.
loved his story in High School Musical
The
2.
third is, yeah.
But those Oo. But for all of that said, High School Musical 2 has the best songs. Like banger from start to finish.
That's what we
Best
said
songs, best
also in our
musicality.
ano.
It felt like this one was the most musical out of all of them because it was like
Yeah.
a set design. It
Yeah.
was big crowds. It was over the top. But as a story and as like a movie and as a High School Musical 3 lover, like High School Musical 2 is the worst one for me. And in grade 3, I performed Bet on It in our Christmas
Oh my
party.
God. Did you
Back
do
when you had the
slapping?
cassette pa.
Oh.
I do. I started from outside the classroom.
Oh,
Oh my
wow.
God.
What a
But I could emote.
performance.
I could emote inside pa.
Did
Oh
you
my
slap
God.
your reflection in the fountain?
Oh my
The
God.
perfect reflection of Zac Efron, like moving and was still like.
At the time, like, wow, that's movie magic. Wow.
Yeah, but then like
Yeah.
watching reactors react to High School Musical 2, that scene makes them laugh because they're like, "How the hell is the reflection that perfect? Like, doesn't make any sense at all."
Oh
Disney
my
movies,
God.
talaga, love them
Disney
so
movies,
much.
man.
Yeah.
1, 2, 3, 4. Thanks for tuning in to more Screw Up Sesh. We'll see